am so glad that you guys popped on. A lot of you are brand new, or you might have started just recently, whatever it is. We are just so grateful that you're here. But the beauty of this is that you allowed, and I don't know if you guys are believers or not, but I truly believe when I pray for my team, God truly brings the right people for the right purpose, because he knows deep down there is something you have to offer for so many people. And that is the beauty of this, is like, you're going to be able to showcase your gifts and things that you might not have ever even known deep down you had. And so know that, that's what I love about this, is that at least for my journey, it's opened up so many things I would have never done or lead or do anything like this. I would have never thought that I would have been in this position, but I just allowed God to continue to grow me and be coachable, like we're going to be doing tonight, so that we can dive in a little bit more and figure out how we can help you and how we can help you in this journey and move forward. So again, I'm Cassie. And so again, I'm so grateful that you guys are here. I'm actually going to open up in prayer so that we can start our night off right. And so me and Julia will be coaching tonight, and we're going to be talking with Michelle, and I don't see Sam yet, but Sam as well.
It's coming.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, we're going to pray really quick. Dear God, thank you so much for having this incredible team that you have brought us all together. We just pray for the friendships that are building. We pray for them to just keep connecting and growing. We pray for people to just come into all these people's lives that that need these products, as well as this business, and just pray for whatever they need tonight, just to come out and be open to what you have for them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. So, since Sam is not here yet, I will go ahead and Michelle, I'm going to go ahead and chat with you first. So tell me a little bit about your story. I do know, Jennifer. I'll kind of back, since we just started recording. Jennifer, she's played some dirty tricks on you, but she loves you now. And you are cousins. And tell us a little bit more, kind of just more about Michelle.
Okay. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know where to begin. We lived in Oklahoma for 12 years. All of our 3 kids were born there. And this is how I know God has a sense of humor, because I had always wanted to get closer. I grew up in Illinois and I wanted to be closer to my family. And Tim had gotten laid off from his job, and we stayed out there for a year. And then we ended up moving to Illinois to be closer to my family. We lived in the basement of their duplex for a while we were getting back on our feet. And after 3 years of being here, my mom and dad took my grandpa and they retired to Florida. And I was like, what? This can't be. But we're still here. Everyone else is in Florida and we're still here. And our kids are 30, 26, and 22, which doesn't seem possible. I work as a bookkeeper in the day. It's just in a small office. We have grant funds that pay for career and technical education for students. And I'm the only full-time person there. So that has allowed me time to do other things. So I have my goals. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me more. What does that look like? When you say goals, what does that mean?
My very first goal was, and still is, I want to get my products paid for.
Okay.
I'm very motivated for that. I just had spring break the last couple of weeks, and my brother, he could really benefit from Plexus products. He is not in a place right now where he can financially afford that. So one of my goals is I would love to get his products paid for.
Oh.
And then my end goal, and my husband is sitting right here, so this has been a surprise. He's going to hear it now. My end goal is I would love to be able to pay for our mortgage and pay off our house so that we're not still paying on it when we're 70 and 80.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful goal. And it's one that's, can be attainable. It's just what we put into this, just like with any job. You can work at a coffee shop or own a coffee shop, and the more work you put in and the more, word of mouth and things and getting the word out is how things grow. So what sparked that? Tell me a little bit back up since she just started, Michelle just started, you guys. So what sparked one, getting your products paid for, but now more?
I definitely think that's a God thing, and the time is right. Because interestingly enough, I have a good friend that I worked with for quite a few years, and we graduated from high school together. And it was probably about 3 to 4 years ago, and she approached me about Plexus because she knew my whenever anybody would talk about gut issues, they knew it was me.
Mm.
And she was like, I said, I thought it was weight loss. And I said, well, I'm really not looking for anything else right now. And she's like, oh, but Plexus is so much more than weight loss. And I was like, well, that's okay. And I'm glad it's good for you, but I'm not interested.
Uh-huh.
And so then this time when I saw Kathy had the gut health online event with Jen, I was like, And I actually was in bed the night of the online event. I was deathly sick. And later that night, talking to Jen, I ended up having to like cut off the call, and I got sick in the bathroom. So I think what really sparked then, when I started taking Triplex, and I very quickly saw changes for the better. And so then I was like, okay, I truly believe in this stuff. Like, I've seen it work for me. And I'm fairly quiet. I'm not, I don't see, what'd you say? Yeah, right.
I was thinking that.
I read it. I heard it.
I love it.
But I don't know. I think now, because I truly believe that I have something that I want to share and with others. And that also has made me think that, like, in my walk with Christ, that's the answer to so many things. And I tend to shy away from sharing that. And I'm thinking, why? You've got the answers. Why don't you want to share?
Oh, that right there. And I mean, raise your hand when you first started Plexus that you thought you'd be on a call to get your products paid for or dream bigger. Like, I didn't. I just wanted to get my products paid for. I was so stubborn, you guys, so stubborn. I had, like, the person had to buy the products for me. And no joke. And she invited me to an event. And that is why I'm here today, because hearing testimonies, just like in the Bible, when you hear the Bible is full of testimonies. And that is the ripple effect. And that's the beauty of this, is we have our testimony now, but it's what we do with it that God has given us that really makes the impact. Because we can, just like you said, it's, you have a story now. Now it's your job to share that. And let that fruit just come, whatever God provides, as in names. I feel like names come up often, when you start and you're like, oh my gosh, now it's Susie. Now it's, Paul and whoever. And some people think it's just for women. And this is not. Like, my husband, it took a while for him to say yes, but he finally did. Super skeptical husband. Well, that's a whole nother day and time. But I think that the other thing to remember is continually doing it, because and this is encouragement for you and everybody else on here, is that nobody's going to see that one post. If they do, it's like two people maybe. And you have to realize it's a continual thing, so that people know that you're in it and you're not going anywhere, because you have a testimony and you have some power behind you that they have belief to be able to come to you. So like you going to Jennifer's because you saw her continually do it. You came to her event. It was the right time. And I know for a lot of us, we probably heard of Plexus for a long time. I know I did, for years prior. But God knew that right moment and that right time, and same for you too. Okay, so what was going on in your health? Because I wrote that down. I was like, tell us a little bit about what was going on that prompted you to, want to try Plexus finally.
Probably the biggest thing. Well, first of all, I'm a type 2 diabetic.
Okay.
So looking for something to regulate. I don't take insulin, but I take a weekly shot. But I think what bothered me even more, it's always been about gut health for me. I have IBS.
Mm.
I have had recurring diverticulitis. I had a section of my colon taken out. I only wish that I would have found plexus a long time ago, before that. But went through all that stuff and I also had my gallbladder removed. That was like 20 years ago. But it's always running to the bathroom, planning my day around, is there going to be a bathroom available? That type of thing. Those are that, and I had come to a point where I just wasn't sleeping. I had a hysterectomy a few years ago, and shortly after the hysterectomy, sleep just eluded me.
So how long have you been on the triplex now?
About 5 weeks,
Mhm.
and the difference in all of those categories is amazing. I have my morning numbers have always been stubbornly high, like around 160, 180. And I was specifically supposed to be working on those this 3-month period before my next A1C. And those numbers have come down like 30 points regularly in the morning. And then I had set before Plexus, I had set a goal that I wanted to try to get as many readings under 100 as I could. And that had not happened. But since Triplex, it has happened. I have maybe 1 or 2 a day at least that are under 100. No more running to the bathroom. I feel like a free woman. It is just awesome. And I'm sleeping. I'm because I wear my Fitbit, and my sleep, the patterns. I told Tim, I said, even if you didn't, like I know how I feel, but then I look at what my Fitbit says, and it just proves what's going on. And I have to end with, so my youngest brother I was 16 when he was born. So there's a huge age difference there. And he and his wife have 3 small kids. They're 3, 5, and 8. And I was with them for spring break, and they go. And I went. We walked to school, we walked home. And my sister-in-law commented one time, she was like, I really noticed a difference in your energy level. And that was just like, oh my gosh, someone else noticed it. I was thrilled.
That's incredible. And I have to share, you're reading I just love how we all like know. So I'm going to read this in the chat because nobody's going to see the chat in the recording. Write down every single change that happens, because I promise you, I wish I would have done that 7 years ago, because I barely, like, if it wasn't for memories on Facebook, and then when I did post, because I didn't post right off, I wouldn't have known, okay, was it the first week or like the 4th week that I started noticing energy? Or was it that, like start really writing those things down, because what's weird, when you struggle so hard, you would think you won't forget, but then all of a sudden you're gonna be like, wait, I haven't had a headache. Wait, I'm not dizzy. Whoa, how long has that been? You forget because you're starting to feel so good that you don't realize. So you're like, wow, this is awesome.
Wow.
I don't know who it was. I have a new girl named Amber, and I was hoping she was going to come on. She, on a call day before yesterday, she was like, Cassie, I just realized I haven't had a migraine or a headache since at least a week. And I'm like, write that down. So please, like, start keeping a journal. That journal is going to be like your Bible. You're going to be able to go back and start, like, I feel like it's almost like your prayer journal, where you're praying for things to happen. Those things, like, okay, I want to see this in Plexus. I want this to happen, or I'm already seeing this. Then, weeks from now, you can go back and be like, oh my gosh, that's checked off. That's checked off. That's done. That's done. And so keeping a record of what you were dealing with before is going to be huge. And this is for everybody. Check off what you're dealing with now, or what you dealt with before, because I promise you, somebody is dealing with that right now and they're praying for answers. But I know that you said, I wish I would have known, about Plexus, way back then. I can guarantee you all of us did. But I will tell you, we probably weren't ready to listen back then. So it's all in God's timing for real on this. Shara has an amazing testimony on, ulcerative colitis and Crohn's and all. So the same issue. And so that's the beauty of this team, is like, none of us came to, I mean, we don't have a background in, natural medicine or helping people. We share our testimony, and that speaks volumes. So I tell people, if you can do that, you can do this. This is an amazing job where you literally link arms with any of us. And if you're like, okay, Cassie, I have somebody that's dealing with depression and, arthritis and, eczema and all these things, then, we can help you guide that. And that's the beauty of this community. We're all together. And so know that if you ever need, and this is Michelle, anybody else on here listening, we are all here to help you, because that's the beauty of this industry, is like, we're just helping people, and that's how we get paid and how we have an amazing income because of it. We're just helping people versus them going to a natural store and then buying stuff off the shelf. They have no idea, or they're not getting customer service or anything from. They're just like, well, let me try this one. Well, I'll try this one too. And, I was one, I wasted a ton of money that way. Okay. So the bigger thing is now you have your brother that you want to pay for. So have you written any of this down anywhere?
Does direct messaging it to Jennifer count?
No, but I was like, maybe, but I will tell you, think of it this way. When you have something written down that you can actually see often, you're more likely to be motivated to, when the days that you don't want to do something, you're going to be like, oh, wait, I really want to help pay for my brother's stuff so he can feel as good as I do. So then those days that creep in and you're like, okay, I know I need to make a post, or I know I need to reach out, or I know I need to do an event, or whatever that looks like, you're going to have that vision in front of you that God has already given you. And that is what's going to motivate you to keep moving forward, especially your mortgage and like paying for your house. Like that's huge. So I always recommend write it down somewhere. Like I bought this cheap, here we go, dry erase board. It's massive. And so I'm constantly writing on there, because your goals are always going to change because you hit them. One day you're going to hit things. And then so you're going to cross that off and be like, hey, what's the next one, God? What are we going to do now? And so always have it in front of you so that when you are sitting down and doing your job or doing your work, that's in front of you.
Okay. One thing too that I would recommend, Michelle, is writing down as you kind of journal how you felt in the past. As you feel better, make sure you're documenting all of that as well, because eventually that whole thing right there is going to make up your testimony, and it is already powerful, and it is going to continue to be powerful. And so as things like that progress, just the changes you're already seeing, and you've already been doing a phenomenal job with the things you have posted, putting that out there and making it apparent that these products are helping you in this, and this. But that's something that you'll want to keep kind of tabs on, because it'll be very helpful as you go. It not only gives you your testimony to look back on, but it also gives you content to be able to post with on your Facebook page, to be able to kind of help people see how this has helped you.
Okay.
There was something else I was thinking there, but I can't remember what it was. So continue on, Cassie.
It'll come to you. It'll come. It's like me. I'm like, wait, there was something else. Okay. So I wrote down, I love the, you want to pay for your brothers and you want to hit the mortgage now and all these things. What dollar amount a month would that need to be? Have you thought about that?
No, I haven't.
Okay. That's something to think about.
Thank you.
So that then okay, if I need to hit 1,200 a month or whatever that looks like, then this is the stuff that I need to do daily to get to that goal. Or this is what I need to build a team or to build more customers and things to hit that goal.
Okay.
So start thinking about that. And towards the end of the call, I will ask you, and then we can kind of figure that out and what that would look like. Because another thing, there's really good compensation videos out there that'll break down more. But I'll tell you, sometimes when you're just getting started, those can overwhelm you unless you have that kind of mindset that knows the math and knows everything, like Shara and some other people. But the best thing that I always tell people is just start small. Find your 3 people And, then you just slowly keep adding. Okay, let's go for 3 more. Okay, let's go for 3 more. And when I say that, I'm not saying you doing it all. The beauty of this is when, let's say, Michelle, you're adding Jerisa, Shara, and Julia. Now you have your 3. Now I'm going to have a conversation with every single person on there because, one, finances get in the way of every single person's journey, guaranteed, 100%, especially right now, right? But the beauty of what we have is we help every single person get their products covered because we don't want that to help or that to hinder their journey in their health. Because like for you, could you imagine going back to what you were dealing with? We
No.
never, ever want that to happen. And so I would be having a conversation with Jerisa and say, okay, Jerisa, I'm so excited you're getting started on this triplex. And thank you for trusting me. But I also want to have a conversation and let you know that I pride myself in helping every single person get their products covered. So finances never get in the way of your health journey. Would you be open to hearing what that looks like? Or would you be open to hearing how I can help you on that? Or, something to that nature. I never say interested. Interested is like spammy and like sale. I don't know. I don't like interested or let me know, because let me know shuts
Okay.
the door. It doesn't leave it open. So I always say open. And another book that I would highly recommend anybody else on here to get is this one's my favorite. Exactly What to Say. It's just, that's how it's said. These are my notes of my go-tos. And
Okay.
it is a wonderful book that just helps you structure how to talk in a way that you're actually listening more to the person. Because I will tell you, when I first started, I vomited Plexus on every single person. When I say vomiting Plexus, it is like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm on the triplex and it's great. And you just got to do this with me. Like I was so excited that I forgot that there was a person on the other side. I mean, I did. I knew that there was a person on the other side. I was just excited that they were interested, that I just threw up on them instead versus going,
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle, tell me what's going on. Tell me your health goals, and then shutting up. Okay. Wow. How long have you dealt with IBS and everything? Shut up. Oh man, what all are you taking for that? Okay, well, would you be open to hearing some recommendations that I have? I mean, literally only 1 to 2 sentences is all, when you're starting that conversation with people, all that you should be doing. The other thing that's beautiful, always put us in a 3-way. You guys, 3-ways are not used enough. 3-ways are where you're putting people into another message. So it's kind of like an extra accountability so that they see, even though they trust you, Michelle, they see that there's somebody else that has knowledge in this and that they understand it more. And so when they have questions, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't know that. Let's ask Cassie or Julia or Jennifer. And then, I never say upline, I never say ambassador, because you guys, that's not us. Our team, we're friends. We are all together. We're here for each other. We're family. And so when I have that, I'm like, okay, let me connect you with my friend Shara. She actually dealt with ulcerative colitis. Would that be okay? She's got an amazing journey. I would love for you to hear. So you're asking. And that's how those conversations start. And so the biggest thing about this is that, yes, you start thinking about who you believe really needs these products, but then also who really needs this income. This income is a blessing, you guys, a huge blessing. And so writing those differences down and reaching out to them and talking to them, and I can go into that in just a little bit of what to say in that. Yeah, we'll go into that in just a minute, but, so yeah, do you have any questions on any of that right now?
No, I don't, nothing that pops out in my head right now.
Okay. I know that
Michelle?
It makes sense.
Oh, I was just going to ask, do you have a list of people that you've thought of that you want to chat with about this?
I have a list of people that I have chatted with or have
Good.
reached out.
Okay.
I counted that up earlier today, and I kind of needed that reminder. I was like, oh, okay. I'm surprised that, that I had done that many. And
Awesome.
then right now, I don't have a list per se, but I'm going back to the gut health event and checking who liked it or who was in the group, and then just kind of following up with them.
And one thing I would suggest too is, number one, I would recommend making a list Like
Okay.
even up to like 50 people, just start making a list of the people that you want to talk to that God lays on your heart. And then
Okay.
the other thing I would mention is when you talk to them, if it's been a while since you've talked to them, instead of going directly to Plexus, because we don't want to come off as just trying to sell them something, we want to come off more authentic because we care about them. So check in with them, start some conversation with, hey, how was your Easter? You know, I've really been thinking about you a lot lately. How's life going? You know, start off good conversation with them. And then maybe a day or two down the line after they've kind of gotten back with you, and maybe it's a week, you know, don't be in a rush with it because you want it to make sure that it comes off to them how much you actually care about them. And it's not
Okay.
that you're just going for a sale. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
So,
And I appreciate that because that's how I would want someone to approach me. So
And
I
Right.
can
that's the
totally
thing-
get behind
That's
that.
the thing to always remember, you know, when you're approaching the people, is like, how would I want to be approached? And so my favorite, you guys, I do voice messages a lot, if not a video message, because I want people to see my expression and I want people to hear my expression in my voice, that I'm authentic, I'm real, I'm not fake. I'm not trying to just win you over on something. I'm here to truly care about you, because if you posted you're struggling, I'm, as your friend, I have an authority to reach out to you, and I will tell them, like, I would not be your friend if I did not tell you or offer recommendations. Would you be open? Because the last thing that I want to see is you continually struggling. You know, would you be open to hearing what I'm taking that is helping me already? And so I always say recommendation.
that is one caveat. If you ever see somebody directly post something on Facebook that they're sick or they're struggling with something, then that is definitely an open end. Message them directly and say, hey, I don't know if this is something that you would be open to, but I have found that these really help me. I would really love to share them with you if you'd be open for that, you know, because I've seen that you aren't feeling well, or that you guys are struggling with getting better, or that your tummy's been bothering, or whatever it is that they've posted publicly to say that they're struggling. You as a friend are reaching out and saying, hey, I have something that's significantly helped me. I would love to share it with you if it's something that could help you.
That's so interesting that you said that, because I had that exact thing this week. And so that's pretty much what I did. I wish I had it right in front of me so that I could read everything. But I asked her something about if she would be interested, there's that word, in
Okay.
me sharing my story. And she said, yes, sometime. And then she said, but right now, because I had said something about getting to the root of the problem. And she said, I think I pretty much know what it is. So with someone like that, then do you just, like, I have her name on my list, and then you just wait and follow up? I mean, I suppose there's no set time, just when it feels
No.
right.
Yes and no. So sometimes you almost have to dig a little bit deeper, because there's layers that she's kind of opening the door for you, but not yet. And so sometimes I ask deeper questions like, girl, okay, I'm glad you know what's going on. You know, what do you feel like that is then? Tell me a little bit more. And so, and then I always, when people sometimes give me a blunted answer like that or something, I kind of dig deeper, like, oh goodness, what's going on? Tell me a little bit more, you know, or I try to open that conversation versus like, okay, no worries, just back to me when you're ready. Or I say, I mean, because really when that happens, you're just shutting the door, you know, it's
Yeah.
not even a conversation anymore. And so I can be like, no problem. Like, especially if somebody's like, okay, give me a few days and I'll get back to you. Great. I'll check back in with you. What about Sunday? Is that is a better time for you? Because when you set a date and a time, then people know that you're going to be back to them and you're going to check in on them, not to be like rude or salesy or anything. It's just, you're really wanting to continue that conversation. And it's not they'll know when you're going to do it. So I always
Okay.
tell people a date and a time. And then I wrote down, know that you were always going to mess up. Always. I still mess up today. Just FYI, there's still some times I'm like, oh, why did I say that? Dang it. You know, or whatever. But no, the right people know your heart, and the right people are going to know grace and give you grace that you're just trying to help them. And so don't stop yourself when you're like, well, man, I said interested. Now I messed up. I'm not going to do it again. Don't, sometimes people get into that, and just know that we all are learning, and we're learning new tricks, because in this industry, it's always evolving, always. So you might know one trick or whatever right now that's working. It's going to change in 6 months. Like COVID hit and it threw everything for a huge loop. So like, it's always evolving, but it's always beautifully evolving. And so that's what I like. So with that, and also the other thing with the analogy of following back up, you already have your list. And so when I follow back up, I think of it like a waitress at a Mexican restaurant. I just brought this up the other day because it happened to me. And they're coming back, do you want more chips? And I'm like, yeah, girl, bring all the chips, right? But then there's sometimes like, oh no, not right now, like come back later, right? And so that's the thing, is you want to be the waitress to say, hey, I'm just checking back in. How are you feeling? What's going on? Just wanted to see if you were open to that conversation and figuring out some recommendations for your health right now. And no, not right now, not this moment. And then, with that book, there's really good follow-up questions in there. Like, okay, when would be a good time? When's a good time, Michelle? So I can make sure that I'm checking in with you when it's right for you. Or, why isn't it the right time? Tell me more what's going on right now. And then most of the time it's like, well, my dishwasher broke and my car's broke. I have no money. Like that's usually the conversation that happens. I have no money. That's why. So then you're getting to that route. Oh man, I understand. I've been there too. Okay, well, let's chat maybe at the end of the month. Or what if I told you I could help you get your products covered? And that way you can, continue working and getting your health under wraps, as well as getting your products covered. Then most people are more open. They're closing the door on you because they feel like they can't afford it, or they can't do anything right now. But if you dig a little bit deeper and again, listen, then you really find a little bit more of what their story is, because most people aren't going to tell you what's behind closed doors unless you ask. And I promise you, people want to be heard. And so if you're just talking and starting that conversation, they're going to want to tell you most of the time. It's when you invest in somebody is when they are going to be more open to you. When you're like, okay, no problem, just let me know when you're ready, then it feels more like a sale. It's more of, and that's how I think of it. When I have people like, reaching out for makeup or Usborne or, Pampered Chef or whatever. And I'm like, no, not right now. And they're like, okay, don't worry. Thanks. And I'm like, if she dug a little bit deeper, I could have been like, well, right now I have 20 books. I just don't need more books right now, but check back with me next month or whatever. But she shut the door already. So I'm all right. So just take a little bit. But again, just continually follow up and think of it. Sometimes there's anomalies. I can't say that word right now, that people sign up right automatically. But then there's some people that's going to take like 20 follow-ups. I mean, Julia, I'll tell her until I'm blue in the face. 6 years for me to get Julia. Okay. Just know I believed in Julia so much. I love her to death. She's a dear, dear close friend. And I just kept, all right, Julia, I see you're still struggling. And I got to where I could pick on her at this point, right? I'm like, all right, girl, when? What's going to happen? What? Huh? Okay. All right. Next month. All right. We're going to see, but 6 years. But I promise you, It's well worth the wait for the ones that you really believe need this and need the income and know that they can make a huge impact in our community. So that's when I'm reaching out to business people now, because the only way you're going to grow a business is reaching to business people. Think of it like you're trying to find employees to run your business. You're not trying to find people that are just going to buy a product here and there, which is great. They're still going to do that. And that's awesome. We still need customers. That's not where I'm not saying don't have customers. That is our beauty and our soul, is helping people feel better. But also to run a business too, you have to have employees. And so I always start thinking like, God, who is that next person that could really impact your kingdom or do more for this world? And that's who I want on our team, so that then they can then share and help more people and more people and be bold for that. So start thinking about those people, and that's all of us. And they're honestly the most scariest people that you're terrified to reach out to.
It's true.
Terrified. I mean, Julia, she's a nurse. I'm not a nurse. Do you think I was terrified? Yeah, I don't know most of the ingredients and all these things. That's just not me. I started learning a lot of that, but I can tell you, I got to where I'm at in the company and I didn't know a lot of that. But you can be a nurse and get to a, a good portion and will be at the top of the company and know all that. It doesn't matter. But the scariest people are the ones that you might not never know that they need it just as bad. And I will tell you, on the 20th, every single person should start thinking
yeah,
about people.
it's good.
We have a medical panel that's going to be happening where you can invite any single person to this call if they need to hear from doctors and nurses that are in Plexus that literally left their careers, or they're only doing it part-time because they still love it, because Plexus is replacing their income and more. So a wonderful call
Wow.
on the 20th that could impact so many. Okay.
When is that one, Kathy? Remind me. Next
20th?
Thursday? I'm pretty
Today's
sure.
13th.
Yeah.
Yes, next Thursday. So next
Yeah,
Thursday.
that's what I was
That
thinking.
gives you a week to start like really
Mhm.
prepping and getting people involved and putting a plug in their ear already.
Those are really powerful ones too, because I mean, if you think about it, most people, whenever they're looking for health help, the first people they go to are medical people. That's what, we naturally do. So, but awesome. Good. Yay.
I love it. Okay, Julia, anything else you want to tap into that?
Can't think of anything. I think you're doing amazing, Michelle. Keep it up, man. You're going to bless
Thank you.
the socks off a lot of people. And I'm incredibly honored to just sit here and watch you bless other people. So it's incredible.
Thank you.
Proud of you, my friend.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you for being willing to share.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
I was excited.
I'm just glad that you're here, and I'm glad now our next person is Sam or Samantha. And so I love that you're on, my friend. And so are you able to talk?
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm gonna say.
That's
That's
okay.
okay.
Guess what? I don't either. God just kind of leads my mouth. And so it just follows. So
You never know where it goes either. So just be prepared. I'm just
I
kidding.
will tell you, the later when I'm up, it's hilarious. My team is like, what was that? What'd you just say? And I'm
Kathy
like,
needs sleep.
yes. No, it's okay. Okay. So Sam, tell us a little bit about your story and your journey already. You started literally.
I haven't got my products yet. They come tomorrow. So I have no story.
That's okay.
I'm
You don't
here.
need one.
But here's the thing, you do have a story. Every single person has a story. You already have a story. So what brought you to Plexus? Like what did you want to try Plexus for?
Well, I've done a lot of different things in my small years of living, and some of them work and some of them don't. So last year I did was it last year or 2 years ago? It was 2 years ago. I did a program called 2030 Fast Track. And I think they focus, I would say, a bit on kind of gut health stuff, but not like a ton. I ended up losing 50 pounds that year. And I've kept some of it off and gained some of it back through a lot of different life stress things. And so Julia kept bugging me, but it didn't take 6 years.
Well, I'm glad. I guess I just wasn't as, I thought I was persistent, but man, Julia's stubborn.
Oh,
So
you were persistent.
Yeah.
okay.
So for me, it was just I think she has more faith in me than I do myself. And
Yeah.
so I don't know. I'm just going to kind of run with that and see what happens.
But isn't it honestly our friends that have more faith in us than ourselves?
Oh, yeah.
Always. They always see more in us than we ever see in ourselves. We are our worst critics. And honestly, the people on the outside are the ones that are usually our biggest cheerleaders and that push us and motivate us into doing more because they see it in us. Okay, so what is your health goals with Plexus? Like, what does that look like? What did you purchase?
I did the challenge pack, whatever this month's energy.
The energy and easy challenge.
Ah,
So
I'm gonna start with. So
I love that. That's what Shara started with. And so she's here because of that. And look where she's gone. So she started with that pack and then transitioned into the triplex to really get to the root more. So it's like she targeted inflammation, cravings, things like that. And then we got to where we realized her story and we moved closer to the other way.
I think that was the one I was gonna start with and then switch to this to do the challenge for the month. So
yeah, you're going to love it. Ease is something I take every single day because for me, I have endometriosis, PCOS, and all kinds of other things, but I don't have symptoms like I used to. And ease is something that when I'm eating too many carbs or I'm working out or things like that, ease targets inflammation. And so that's the beauty of it, is that I take mine every single day because I'm always working out or I'm always doing things. So it really targets inflammation on the inside. So you're going to love that one. And the active, you're going to love as your pre-workout, because I see your workouts and I love it. It's a really great workout, or even after workout when you feel like, oh man, that was a good workout. Now I'm kind of tired, like midday. So it's a great one. Okay. And when you had said that you've tried a lot of things and they didn't work, what do you mean they didn't work? What do you felt like didn't work in those?
I mean, just like a lot of like weight loss things, I think a lot of people want quick fixes. They want I want to lose 20 pounds this fast because I have something to go to. And so you try something like that to get to a point and then it doesn't happen, or it happens. And so that was cool. You're good. And so you kind of just give up. And so, I mean, it's me and my husband have been doing, like really watching our calories in versus calories out and, walk as much as we can and just doing all the extra things like that. So I think just having something else to, benefit our systems by taking something, because we're doing the work nutrition wise, we're doing the work fitness wise. It's just, I think there may be a piece missing. There's supplements that I'm not taking. So
Hands down.
Gotten there yet.
And so I will tell you, me and my husband, I did as much CrossFit. I ate as clean as I could in Wichita and everything. And it never got to the root of what my issues were. I could never lose weight. I was constantly inflamed. Like if you looked at my before pictures, I just was puffy everywhere. I didn't have the energy. And so that's the thing that is beauty with supplements, is it fills in the gaps, because food alone can't do it. People are like, oh, eat the good food. You're supposed to eat food. And I've done it. I've done the, take out things diet where you're like, no grains, no dairy, no, all these things. I've done that. And it never got to the root of my symptoms. It might've helped a little bit, but nothing like this has. And I always tell people, food alone, your soil is so different. It's still going to be nutritionally dense. You're not going to get enough. You're not going to get enough nutrition. And that's why supplements are so key in our day and age anymore. And also with this, a lot of us preach, like, you've got it with Plexus, you have to give it a good 60 to 90 days. And we tell every single person that, because like for me, I'm so glad that people pushed into me, because I wanted to quit month 1 and month 2 because I didn't see anything, like nothing, like barely anything. And so month 3 was when I noticed I wasn't cramping and I didn't need my heating pad and I wasn't falling asleep on the floor. Like, it's like, wow, that's crazy. Month 4 was when I could truly say I didn't have any more ruptured cysts. I wasn't, needing doctor visits. I was all these things. So I always tell people, give them a good chance, because whatever you've been dealing with for 15 years, that's how many months it's going to take to truly get true healing. Like 15 months for 15 years, a month per year is usually what I kind of give people. So stick with it. So is it just weight loss that you're looking for in this, or what's going on?
I mean, which was funny because when I did that 2030 program, like a lot of people did that program because of symptoms of things. Like I don't feel like I've ever really experienced, I don't have IBS or I don't have migraines or I don't have, like, I just know how good I feel when I feel good. And that's the point that I have to get to. And then side note of I have a vision of what I know I can look like, and I'm not there yet. And so it's kind of a mix between those two.
Sam, tell Cassie and everybody else that's listening here, what it is that really attracted you to Plexus, and that you decided to go ahead and try it out.
Do you remember what that is? Because I don't remember.
So when we were talking, a lot of what you were really attracted to obviously was the idea of helping to guide people along the route of a health journey,
Yeah.
but also oh gosh, there's a word I'm trying to think of, the fact that it is our community, basically our community. And I shared with her Jessica Heffley's
That podcast, what podcast
well, Brittany Howard's podcast, but Jessica Heffley did that. I cannot remember what they called it, but it's the event where it talked about how God has blessed them and what they've used their blessings for.
You're about to go there. Yep.
And that was very powerful for Sam. Sam, you want to talk a little bit more about that? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's
no.
the one where they were talking about all the different things that they've done with the income that they've gotten from Plexus. And
Well, I mean, I think that's awesome. I think that's what my family needs, is to get to the point that we're not struggling so we can help other people not struggle either. Yeah.
That's a lot of us. And I think, so the book that I'm reading right now that I'm doing with Jessica Heffley is How Heaven Can Invade Your Finances. That one is so powerful with scripture of really that God wants to bless us.
I'm in that.
yeah, she's been on it the last couple weeks.
Well, anyway, I love that. Oh my God. Look at you already jumping all in, and you don't have your products. That's what I love.
I have no products.
Yeah,
I love it.
good.
But see, that's the powerful part, is like, you're
Mhm.
already in, but now I'm just curious, like what made you dive in so quickly that you're like, all right, book study, sure, I'm in. Like what
I told
triggered
you, if I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do it. Like I'm not gonna make my family pay for my supplements. So I'm gonna make it work. And so far I have just loved all of the things I've listened to, because I don't have a lot of people around me that think the same way I do. And so it's really hard.
that? Well, no, you're not alone. And I will tell you that that's what we're here for, because a lot of us felt alone, and that's why we felt hopeless. We felt insecure. We felt not confident, all this stuff. And that is what I love about our community, is because it really pulls us all together as one. And we go back to what, we go back to the center of where our focus should be. And that is God alone. And He leads all of this. Right. And so, like, for me, I will tell you, you think your family's going to support you. I've been in this 7 years. 7 years. My mom and my dad are the only people that have ever bought from me. My sister once, like, very small, but like, that's it. And most people, they have a good supportive family, and I love that. I don't. But that didn't stop me, because I saw a bigger purpose for my family. I had so many naysayers, you guys, but that didn't stop me, because guess what? And you hear it, they're not paying your bills and whatever, but it's true. Like, they're not living my family's life. And so you focus on that. You focus on what's internal inside your home. When you shut that door, that is all that matters, is what's inside your home. And you keep focusing on that when you feel like nobody else cares, because your family does, and we do. That's what we're here for. the biggest thing, and maybe this will help all of y'all, it helped me about a year and a half ago, and it has been a night and day difference. Anybody that's been with me long enough has seen probably the transition. Jessica Heffley, love her dearly. I struggled with people pleasing so much that it literally took my day. If I upset somebody, or if I did something wrong, or if I hurt somebody's feelings unintentionally, it ruined my day. Hands down. It just took me, I wanted to go hide in a closet because, oh my gosh, I hurt this person's feelings. And Jessica was like, Cassie, do you realize you just worked up all of this stuff, that it's actually higher than God now? You've prioritized all of this to be higher than him. That's priority now. I'm like, what? And it's so true. Literally everything I was doing was focused on other people and their thoughts about me and what I did, that I forgot what I was doing my purpose for. And it was like, you need to hear people that they go sober overnight, or they drop the drugs. And that was my drug. I dropped it overnight. Don't get me wrong. It creeps in every now and then, but I am reminded, like, wait, what happened with her is nothing to do with me. She drew her line. She did whatever. That is okay. I will respect that boundary, and nothing I did wrong. And if there is, forgive and forget and keep moving forward. And so that was the biggest switch for me. So know when anybody's doing this, you have to remember why. So that's why I say, write it down. Michelle, write it down why you're doing this, because Satan loves to creep in, and he will, because he knows something big's about to happen and you're about to grow his kingdom even more. And that's why you have to always put that part first, and why you're doing this.
So Sam, one thing that I would encourage you to do as you begin this journey, since you literally haven't even got your stuff yet, is write down goals that you want to see for your family, because you don't necessarily have a bunch of health stuff going on. So your focus is going to be on the business side of it, and it can be life changing. It will be life changing as you go. But that's what I would start for you, is writing down some goals, whether it be money goals or freedom goals. You and I have talked about how you'd like to just take your kids on a vacation, like all of you go on a vacation. And
I was telling a coworker today, I said, my dream would be I could go to Jamaica every year. I would take my kids one year and then just me and my husband the other year, and that we would just rotate, and I would be happy.
yeah. So write things like that down, because what's going to happen is, as you go through, especially, and let me just tell you right now, Plexus is a powerful platform for leading people to Christ. There have been, we were listening, I think it was on Jessica's call today that she was talking about how, oh, no. I think it was on one of the coaching calls, maybe yesterday. Anyways, one of the gals had invited one of her, I think she was a ruby, or maybe she was a gold ambassador at that point in time, but to a retreat. It was a marriage retreat. And at that marriage retreat, her husband gave great minds. At that marriage retreat, her husband gave his life to Christ. And that is a marriage retreat that is something that was laid on one of our Diamond's hearts to start when she started making an income, to where she could basically allow people to come, like give her a place to bring people to work on marriages. And so that's the type of like dreaming I'm talking about. Like, allow your mind to go places that we haven't let them go for a while, because we typically do a really good job of being uncomfortable with dreaming that big, because we're thinking of our own abilities. And truly, this has nothing to do with our ability. It's God. It's just you being the vessel and being obedient to that, to whatever it is that he's calling you to.
So it's funny you say that, because I've been thinking a lot lately that there may be resources out there that I don't know of, but people that go through a divorce and don't get divorced and they stay together, there's got to be some kind of healing there, because it's like you never get to finish the closure because the closure doesn't stop.
Right.
And so there's got to be something for people out there that they would benefit from
Yeah.
a conference or like whatever you said, that people can listen to people talk about how to get closure from that,
Yeah.
because it's difficult.
Yeah. And Cedar Rock Ministries is a really big, I mean, it's become, I think, I mean, it's for other people, not just in Plexus, but I know that they utilize that a lot in their team in our downline. Like it's offered to people all the time. And it's one of those things that if I understand it correctly, and Cassie, tell me if I'm wrong, wouldn't even be here if it weren't for God laying that on one of our Diamond's hearts and allowing her to grow her business to where she could pay for it to happen. And that's what I'm talking about. So start writing down your dreams, no matter how small or big they seem, because I just, girl, I have goosebumps because I can just tell, I know that God wants to do something for you guys with this community and with this company. And it's just exciting. But at the same time, it is definitely one of those things. It's a ride and it's not going to happen overnight. It doesn't even happen in a year. That's how long I've been doing it and I'm still pushing. You know what I mean? But it is, I have grown, not only just physically, but up here like that. What we offer here at Plexus versus what other companies do, a lot of it is mind work. And you've been experiencing some of that through the Brittany Howard stuff. And it is powerful because that is the kind of stuff that will change your life. And it's also the kind of stuff that you get to offer to other people that to be able to help change their lives. And I think that's the most powerful thing about it. That's why I say it's an incredible platform.
I messaged that lady.
Oh yeah.
She messaged.
Good for you. Look at you. What'd she say? What'd you say?
I just told her that her podcast was awesome because when you listen to her talk, you realize where your mindset has been. And like my entire life, I have lived a hopeless mindset.
A lot of us have until we get to the point where we realize it.
Yeah.
So whenever you talk about having like that hopeless mindset, what type of things have you been doing recently that have helped you get to the habit of changing that mindset?
I'm not sure I'm quite there yet, but I'm working on it. So
well, it's a daily thing. It's not something that's just going to be.
Yeah.
So with you just starting, one thing, and I know one of the biggest goals right now for you is to get your products paid for. That was me. I knew that I wasn't going to start doing this and then spend every month having my family pay for it on top of the other bills that we had. So I would highly encourage your first thing, Sam, before you even get your products, to say, make a post and say, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want it to help with. And this is what I've seen it help other people with. If it's something you think that would be a blessing to you, I would love to chat with you more about it. But I'm just here to show you what I'm going to do. And I will post periodically to walk you on along the way with my journey. That's what I did. I basically got on and I took people along with me on a journey. I did my very first live. I think you've done a live before though, haven't you, Sam?
Yeah, when I've been walking. I don't like them because I'm like, I don't like the way I sound in videos or whatever.
Well, good for you for already have done a live in general, because that's ahead of a lot of people. But I would definitely, if you are up to getting on and talking about it, do that, because that's what I did. I got on and I opened my box on my live and I said, this is what I got. This is what I'm hoping that it helps me with. And I am inviting all of you to walk alongside me and just watch my journey. And then every week I got on there and I posted an update. Every week I was on there and posting an update, because something that most of you may or may not know, I think most of us know this at this point, but the algorithm of how of how Facebook works, if you're not constantly posting, people won't see your messages as much. And so, and I mean constantly, like daily, not like every couple hours. But so that's something that I would really encourage you to do. And it doesn't always have to be Plexus. It doesn't even always have to be your testimony. Honestly, that is something that I started to do is like, if you see Cassie or I or any of the girls that are on here that's been in it long enough, post a testimony that touches your heart, copy it, copy the picture and post it and say, these are the type of testimonies that made me realize this community was amazing, or this company, the products were life-changing. And, you know, because not everybody can just associate with my testimony of having heartburn and then in 3 months it was gone and my bowel issues were normal. You know what I mean? Other people need testimonies like issues with fibromyalgia or testimonies with PCOS and endometriosis. You know what I mean? Like not necessarily stories that we have. So utilize the testimonies that are put up and utilize those even on your own if they touch your heart. Cassie, you have something you want to add?
Yeah.
Oh,
here-
yeah.
I was putting in the chat too. Think of it this way. What posts stop you? What posts stop you? That's what you should be posting. So usually I go back and I'm like, okay, well, I really love watching my friend Susie. I always use Susie. I don't know why. I don't know if I have a Susie, but it's just the first word that comes to my mind. And so like, why do I like following her? You know, what is it about her that I love? Then you tap into that and figure out what is that. Most people do not want to follow graphics. They don't want to follow something that they're posting Plexus every waking moment, even if we're excited about it. People aren't following you just for Plexus. What can you inspire them? And that's what I like about Brittany Howard. In a couple of podcasts just recently, she talked about like, we're here to inspire our people that are following us. What can you inspire them for? Like right now, like your workouts are inspiring people. So that's your season right now that you're going to be able to tap into people that need that inspiration and be like, all right, Sam went to the gym. I better get up now or whatever. And all of us have that. I get some people like, well, I'm boring. I don't do anything. And I'm like, you have something. You just have to find it. We just have to find what makes you, you. And that's what you start sharing so that it's not Plexus everywhere. And you're not showcasing, you know, like sales ads where it's like graphics all the time. So I always tell people like reevaluate your wall and you go to your page and you're like, oh, dang. Okay, let's delete some of these and let's start again. And
Mine's like be mirror selfie.
and that's,
But that's okay.
yeah.
That's you. And that's each picture that you post on there, Sam, also has something that's incredibly powerful and encouraging to read. So that is definitely something to keep. And I think what Cassie, a lot of it, hers, what we have learned is that if you post somebody's testimony or you post your testimony is different. If you're posting other people's testimonies or just information about the products, you don't necessarily need to leave it up forever. Go let it sit there for a couple days and then go back through and take it off. So then when people come to your page, they're not scrolling through like a sales ad. You know what I mean? Like you want to post education about your products. Like you want to post, like once you fall in love with the Active Sam, because I know you will, you'll probably want to post what's in the Active and why it can be so powerful and the other benefits it has.
I got some pineapple lemongrass. Is that good?
Oh yeah.
It's my favorite.
I
Yeah.
like pineapple. I just went with it.
Yeah, I think you'll love it. But that's what I mean. Like you might post, oh my gosh, this is amazing. These are the benefits. And if I were you, I would post it with a picture of yourself with your bottle drinking it. Now, if you posted it with a picture of just the pineapple lemongrass graphic, then maybe in a few days go through and delete it. You know what I mean? But if it's something that has you in it and it's your personal experience with it, keep it on your page because it's powerful.
Okay.
That's the stuff that's different. People want to
Mhm.
see you. They don't want to see something, a graphic that Plexus created. When I have those, Plexus creates wonderful graphics. Don't get me wrong. I usually post those in the comments of my post. Unless it's like my picture and a graphic of like what this product has to do and I'm holding it or whatever, that's different. I mean, don't get hung up on posting. If
It's
there's
okay.
stuff going on, we can, I can be like, hey, Sam, would you be open to hearing recommendations that I can, give for posting or something like that? And then that way we can help you as you're starting. Same with Michelle and anybody else on here. Don't get hung up on posting. Just know whatever you follow, like figure out why. Why do you love following that? And I usually tell people less is more. So even if it's not posting what the lemongrass does, you can be like, dang, my workout's just got an uppy ante or whatever, and that's it. And it's just you and the lemongrass or something like, dang, I worked out and had, burned more calories this workout thanks to this drink or something to that nature. It builds curiosity and people are going to be like, okay, where can I, what creatine did you buy or whatever. Most gym people, go there, but that's where you can start conversation. And usually I don't post it all in the comments, because then if I'm telling everybody what I'm doing in the comments, then it doesn't start that conversation we were talking about in the beginning. It's like, oh girl, Michelle, let me tell you, I'm going to reach out to you. I got to tell you about this stuff. Then more people are going to comment, well, tell me too. Tell me now, whatever. That builds that. And so I try not to post too much in the comments, because then it doesn't allow for anybody to reach back out and ask questions. So
Yeah, utilize your messenger for if people comment, you can just post, I personal message you, or even just don't even post anything and just personal message them. But that is one thing I will say too, is I don't think I personally, now I know this is not normal for probably everybody, but I don't think I personally had to reach out to anybody for a good 6 months when I started. I literally, when I was posting about my personal journey, I had people reaching out to me every day, like asking me questions. And so I had a good roll of people that were just constantly watching. So that, and again, I know that doesn't happen with everybody, but I do believe, Sam, with the following that you have and the people that you encourage and inspire, that very well could be very similar. Like as you just take them along on your journey and let them know, say, this is something that I know can help me with this, this, and this. Like find some physical things that you want to see it change or you want to see it help you with. But definitely just utilize it in the posts that you're already making, because they're already powerful.
agree. And then just keep doing it, because I promise you, almost every person that's ready to sign up never comments on my posts or likes them ever. So know that people watch, but they're terrified to say anything. And when they do, it's because they're desperate. And then that's when they're reaching out to you. The other thing is when people are liking your post or something, I never go into, oh girl, like here's what I'm doing. Let me tell you about it. It's more of like, thanks for the support. That means a lot. Something to that nature. Thanks for loving my recent post. That really means a lot. I don't know if you were doing it just for support or you wanted to know more, but I just appreciate you. And then that opens that door and they can be like, well, actually, tell me what you're doing. Or like, no problem. Way to go. I'll keep, supporting you along this way. That way it doesn't feel like you're reaching out to them for other reasons. You're literally like, thank you. Like that's what helps me grow, is just people supporting me. So thank you. That's what I do. Okay.
What questions do you have, Sam?
I was about to go.
I'm not sure yet. So I'm sure I will have some.
Was this helpful?
Yeah.
Good.
What I would start for everybody tonight is, really start making a list of people that are on your heart already. And then the people that you're terrified to reach out to, like the ones that you're like, feel like you're going to vomit thinking about it. And what I say is like, hey, Jerisa, I don't know if this is it for, what I'm doing is for you or not, but because you're already saying like, I don't know if this is going to work for you or not, even though you really deep down believe it's going to, you let her make that decision. Like, hey, Jerisa, I don't know if this is for you or not, but I had to reach out to you and just see if you'd be open to hearing what I'm doing right now. I truly believe what I have been taking for my health could transform your I don't know, diverticulitis, the health issues I know you're struggling, or I know that you're looking for extra income right now, or whatever that looks like, you're going to touch in that point. If you'd love to hear more, I would love to chat with you. And that's it. And so those are the conversations that I encourage every single person on here tonight. That'll be your homework. Try to reach out to 3 people before you go to bed tonight and just share that. I don't know if this is for you or not, but, and then go into that. And, you know, if you'd be open to hearing more, I'd love to have a conversation.
One thing that I would encourage each of you, each of us, all of us, because this is something that we have learned, I have learned, is you have to be unattached to the outcome. So this is definitely something that we know can be a huge blessing to many people, whether it be financially or with the supplements and literally changing their health. But God's got to get to them to that point where they see it. That's not our job. Okay. Our job is to be the vessel, to be able to open that opportunity up and to be able to say, hey, if it's not that right time, that's okay. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. That's what I tell all my people. I'm like, here's the deal. I really think this could be a huge blessing to you. I have a friend right now whose daughter was just in the hospital with her first diagnosis of ulcerative colitis. And I reached out to her and I said, listen, I said, I have these supplements. I know they could transform her health. She's young. It may not take a whole long time, but when you are ready, I will be here and you can ask me questions. And I just have to give it to God, because it is not my job to change their mind and to get them to that point where they're ready. That's got to be God's job. So keep in mind, you have to be unattached to the outcome. If they say no, then be like, cool, I'm here. If you ever change your mind or when you are ready to have that discussion, I will be here. Because you will, you know, you're going to be here and you're going to be, you know, keep moving to the people who are ready. And then when they are ready, you're going to be compassionate and excited for them and ready for them to come back. So definitely a very big thing to start off your mindset with when you're first starting, that I think would have been really helpful whenever I started, that I just didn't realize at the time. I had to get there.
Yeah. And all of us do. It's just like the chip lady. Could you imagine if she never offered me chips again because she was mad at me because I didn't say I wanted chips or I needed salsa? Like, you know, thankfully she kept coming back, right? But I didn't tick her off because I said, no, not right now. And so it's so true. Like, don't be attached to when they say no. It's nothing you did. It's just not their right time yet. So, but keep them on your list because you had them on your list for a reason.
Yep.
So homework tonight, we're already way over time. And hopefully this was so helpful for you guys. I love this. This is our very first one. And I love that so many popped on. We're going to be doing this every single Thursday. And so know that we're just opening this up for coaching. Every single Thursday, it'll be 2 new people. And we're just going to help provide you whatever you need and give you questions and help you along this journey. Because I do not want you to take as long as I did in my journey. I want you to go quick and learn from what I've learned these 7 years. And that's what we're here for. So thank you guys for coming on. Don't forget your homework. 3 people tonight, just 3. I didn't say 10 or 20, just 3. And just know that we're praying for you and that we're here for you. Add us in 3 ways, whatever you need. And then the Real People, Real Stories event was tonight. Still invite people to it. If you missed out on it, you didn't have time, it's okay. Still reach out to people about it and say, oh my gosh, there was a great testimony event tonight I just found out about. Would you be okay? Or would you be open to allowing me to add you to it? I saw this testimony that I truly believe you need to hear. Add them to that page. Then don't forget the 20th is the medical professional one where you can invite anybody that you're already thinking about, a chiropractor. I mean, it's the limits, like add anybody to that. And that'll be on the 20th. So start thinking about people there. So, okay. So glad you came. Don't forget the Silver and 6 challenge. It's happening. Even if you feel behind and you haven't even started, go back, start today, do day 1. It doesn't matter. It's up. So go work on that. It'll really help you on this journey as you're just getting started. So thanks guys for coming.
Bye guys.
Bye.